Joined by Mr. Hijan Misal, noted social activist, Professor Amarjit Singh from Jamia Millia Islamia from Center for Northeast Studies, and Rami Niranjan Desai, noted author and academician. Warm welcome to all of you. I would like to give mic to first to Hijan Misal, then to Rami, and then to Professor Amarjit Singh. Thank you for being patient. There were important bites which had to be done. Is the state government mistaking a political problem, a political issue, a social issue with law and order? Mr. Misal.
Yes, thank you for this time, and I would right away start by saying that the problem in Manipur, this has been something which I've been speaking loudly much before this incident happened. The problem in Manipur is purely political in nature, and this has to be the total and lasting solution has to be brought politically. So by saying that, there were lots of movement from the communities, because in Manipur we have three communities, namely the Bugis, Nagas, and Meiteis, and these three communities have their own political movement, which they've been fighting for. Now, I was saying, like, unless there is a strong political will from the government, either from the state or from the center, there cannot be any lasting solution to the vexed problem that Manipur is facing. Now, as social activists, I will be speaking from the perspective of what is happening on the ground. I might belong to a particular community, but I don't believe in biasness. I don't believe in prejudice, but I want to speak out the truth. Now, look at the nature and the intensity, the gravity, and the scale of what's happening in Manipur. Unless there is a strong political will from the central government, the so-called the conflict which has been reaching to that scale, and like stopping this scale of violence is something which is unimaginable at this point of time. Therefore, now look at what is happening when the Honorable Home Minister Amit Shahji visited Manipur. We respected him, we honor him by showing the tricolor of India, telling them that we are Indian citizens, we are the genuine Indian citizens, and we welcome you and we love you and we honor you. But on the contrary, on that visit, there were numbers of violence happen and numbers of houses being burned down. I am from the Kangpokpi district, I am from the Saiko subdivision. Even in my Saiko subdivision, when Honorable Home Minister was in that particular place, in Kangpokpi district, around more than 10 villages were attacked and burned down. And seeing those incidents, in spite of the presence of the Home Minister, if such sporadic kind of attack and violence is happening, how would we trust that kind of government? I would say the state government, where even the chief minister who should speak out the word of peace is always speaking about the communal and using the communal tone.
So, Mr. Misal, you have made a point. I think you have made a very important point that the violence continues despite important people coming in from Delhi. The violence has continued for various. Mr. Misal, a lot of people are saying that the weapons were not looted. They were actually given away. They were handed out. What does this tell us about it? And how seriously this should be taken by the state administration?
Yeah, I would say it's both. It's both looted as well as handed over. Because how can you just allow few miscreants come into your battalion and move away with those weapons without any resistance? For that reason, I'm saying it is not good that these are handed over. The other reason is like there are also instances where there are some resistance from the security forces, and then the mob overpower and became with those weapons. That's why I'm saying it's both looted and handed over. Now imagine any Indian, any citizen, those weapons are meant to protect citizens. And these weapons are now used to target each other. Particularly, look at the amount, the numbers of arms and ammunition looted. Where are these guns and what for are these guns? Now, yesterday itself, there are heavy selling, heavy firing, and at that very point of time when I had made a call to the people, to the villager, the call was full of bombings and all. Think of all these things, and how do you expect when the Home Minister, Honorable Home Minister, appealed to return for the arms? Look at the numbers of arms returned. The numbers of arms captured, handed over, from the valley is much higher than in the hill. Now, when you look at the
Mr.
numbers of arms
Mr. Misao, you are saying that
much higher in the hills again.
you're saying that there's a difference of is it about the whole issue is about land and legality and illegality? That is that the whole idea boils down to that: who is legal citizen and who is illegal citizen. Is that fomenting trouble, Mr. Misao?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Thanks. What is wrong with the state and the people is apprehension and speculation. So this apprehension and speculation is something that's fuel to the already deep-rooted distrust, and that leads to conflict. Now, I would challenge whoever is speaking from outside, not from the state, convenes and buying the so-called illegal immigrant. I would like to challenge them to come up with a very clear data that proves illegal immigrant is one of the reasons. So therefore, when you are speculating, and that speculation leads into apprehension, that is the reason why what is happening now. If you look at the pre-colonial area, the hills and the valley, it is a separate entities. I would request every Indian citizen to look at the history. The hill people are settling there predate the British administration. Now, if you look at the whole context, at that very point of time, there were lots of expeditions. If you look at the expedition, Gusai Hill expedition, Sin Hill expedition, and all these expeditions divided that particular, we call it the land of so-called the land of freedoms inhabited by the hills, particularly the Kuti community. And these areas have been divided into three. Now, some are in the Burma, some are in India, and the political boundaries drawn by the British as well as the Indians is separating these people. Now, the people who were together, no boundaries, would cross over due to the political boundaries drawn is now separated. So therefore, the idea and the speculation of people coming in from the Myanmar and overpopulating, I think this should be substantiated. This should be this should be given the truth with facts and figures. Unless you do that, please don't just simply do that speculation that it adds fuel to what is happening now. Therefore, I believe in data which is not biased and unbiased. So therefore, provide us those data so that whatever you say is true. Then why can't, if you have such data, why can't you take a concrete action to deal with those immigrants?
Illegal migration is is reconfiguring the identity in Manipur?
So I would start with how the present conflict started and how it is shifted to the immigrant issue. Now, it is cleverly shifted to immigrant issue. Actually, why the present conflict, how why it happens is all because of the ST demand. Now, why this ST demand issue, which flares up into these scales of violence, is now shifted into immigrant issue, is something which I strongly doubt, because immigrant, whichever country, whichever place, if immigrants is happening, that definitely will also impact on the identity. Now, I was saying, like, this conflict, which started with the ST demand of the Meiteis community. I was in one of the talk show. I clearly said I have no problems, no issue of our brothers bringing Meiteis demanding ST status, which is a part of the constitutional right. But I have clearly laid down, if they are demanding, that they have to sacrifice the SC quotas, SC privilege, OBC and all. That's what I was saying. Now, when the whole issue is around ST, why is immigrant issue coming into the picture? Now when immigrant issue is coming into the picture, and why is some particular community selectively targeted? Because if you look at the forest boundary, and that the people residing in the other part of the country, lots of Meiteis are there, the Bo valleys, because even the last time when Nishikan Sapang, Honorable MLA, was also clearly saying that Kabo Valley was part of Manipur, it was given away by Zawala Nehru, which is a blatant lie, because Kabo Valley was handed over to the Burmese through Treaty of Dandabo, which is much more before independence. And if you look at uh, uh, the statistic, I would also love to point out this one, because uh, uh, this during an interview by a renowned journalist, Karan Thapa, a highly respected and intelligent Meitei MLA, Mr. Nichikan Sapam, publicly lied and attempted to mislead the anchor and the viewer into believing that the population of the Kuki in Manipur has
Mr. Misau,
increased
that is, Mr. Misau, I have a point to make. Mr. Misau, I have a one point to make.
9%.
Mr. Misau, I'm not stopping you. I'll come to you. I have one point to make. He can be an MLA, but to say he's a Meitei MLA, Kuki MLA, Chin MLA, Naga MLA, the problem just doesn't stop there, It is like saying, it's like MLA comes with his community, it tends to, it means that the MLA only belongs to a community. Once elected, MLA should belong to everyone.
That's very true. That's very true, sir. That's very true. But what I'm saying is, speaking from what is the realities in Manipur now. Because MLA is MLA. That's true. They represent the people. Now the separation, the division is so deep that we tend to call that particular person as a Meitei MLA or Kuki MLA. If I'm coming around that, I apologize for that. So what I'm trying to highlight is, like, he was honorable MLA Nishikan Sapang was trying to lie to the entire world, saying that there's increase in leaps and bounds from a mere one person in 1902 to 29 in 2011. Most viewers of the interview are astonished and feeling betrayed to see a person of this repute turn out to be a complicit of propaganda and brilliant lies. Now, if you look at an abstract from a colonial official book titled The Statistical Account of the Native States of Manipur and the Hill Territory under its rule, written by Al Brown, published in 1873, documented that the total population of Manipur in 1873 was 1,39,000. Out of this, the population of the hillmen was 69,000, which translates to 46.76%. The book also mentioned that Kukis and Nagas were the two great tribal groups inhabiting the hill areas. From this, we can deduce that the population of Kuki would be at least 20% of the total population. This proves the hollowness of the claim made by Honorable MLA Sapang, and he is also nothing but, like, trying to spread and lie to the entire world saying that cookies are immigrants. Now look at those history is documented not by the cookies, not by the Meiteis, not by any but Nagas, but by a person who is not from that community. So when you are saying immigrant, that's why I'm saying you sitting outside and making speculations, swilling to the conflict, apprehension. We should be very careful. We should be very careful in what we use, the word immigrants. Now, as respectable Kim Duncan was rightly pointing out, nobody is against finding out and detecting immigrants. Find out, detect, and take necessary action as per the law, the existing law. That's what we want. Now, if you are trying to portray to the entire world, trying to divert the issue of entry demand into immigrants. That's something which hurts.
Mr. Misao, you have raised multiple. Mr. Misao, Mr. Misao, you have raised multiple points. I just need to bring down this discussion to certain basic issues. Mr. Misao, religious leaders, social activists, cultural representatives of Manipur, don't you think it's time for them to come together?
At the outset, I was saying that the problem in Manipur is political in nature, and that has to be solved politically. Somehow, the CSOs, religious leaders' contribution might be necessary for that. So, just coming to your question, which you asked to Kim and Rami, I would say there are some immediate things which should be made happen in order to bring peace in Manipur. Number one, we don't at all believe in the existing state government now, for which there should be promulgation of president rule. Number one. Number two, the arms and ammunition which are looted, also which are handed over, which are in the hands of these masses, should be recovered at the earliest. And the third one is declare this miscreant, the so-called Arambai Table and the Meiteis, in whose hands are all these arms and ammunition, as a terrorist group. And the third one is like, since everybody has already seen the deep divide between the hills and the valley, and we were saying we have been forcefully separated by the majority Meiteis. It's their creation. That's why there should be arrangement separately for the hills and for the valley. Unless we do that, I don't think we will see peace in their future.